Today we're diving straight into what's really happening in the ELKFORD real estate market right now, because the latest November numbers reveal a subtle but important shift that you need to understand. And for a small, tight-knit community like ELKFORD, even small movements matter. If you're considering buying or selling in ELKFORD, timing matters now more than ever, and strategy even more. ELKFORD is one of the most supply-sensitive markets in the entire Kootenays, and November's data shows early signs of a change in momentum. Before we break down the trend that could shape 2026, here's a quick snapshot of exactly where things stand. In November of 2025, ELKFORD delivered a very characteristic set of numbers: modest detached home activity, minimal attached home movement, and quietly rising prices that show how resilient this community continues to be. Single-family homes in ELKFORD, there were 2 sales, up 7.7% year over year. Benchmark price is $463,000. That's up to 4.2%. This is a healthy pace for a community with low monthly turnovers. Townhomes in ELKFORD, guess how many sales there were in November of 2025? 0, not a zilch, nothing. No benchmark price was even reported. This is not unusual. Townhome supply in ELKFORD is very limited, and so don't be shocked by that one, but it was kind of fun to talk about. Condos and apartments in ELKFORD, guess what? 0 sales. Benchmark price $125,300. Even with no sales, benchmark pricing remains stable, reflecting long-term affordability rather than short-term volatility. Now let's place ELKFORD inside the broader regional context of the Kootenays. So in the Kootenays, single-family home sales, there was 112. That was up 17.9%. Benchmark price in the Kootenays, $607,500. Days to sell, 72. Townhome sales, 18. Condo sales, 24. Condo benchmark price, $323,700. ELKFORD's detached price growth of 4.2% outpaces the regional increase average of 1.8%, showing surprising strength in a small, affordability-driven market where buyers' pools tend to be stable and employment-focused. So, Belzy, what's really going on here, you're asking? Well, let's take a look. Here's what it looks like on the ground and in the trenches. In ELKFORD, detached homes priced in the low to mid 400s historically attract steady interest, especially from first-time home buyers, local families, and workers in the mining sector looking for long-term stability. But this fall, the pattern shifted slightly. Instead of immediate calls in the first few days, some listings took a bit longer to gather some traction. Buyers still came, but they came more slowly, asked more questions, and took more time before making an offer. And even though ELKFORD only had 2 single-family home sales in November, both moved at reasonable pricing relative to benchmark value, showing that demand hasn't disappeared, it's simply become a little more deliberate. Now, the most important trend in the ELKFORD market, and it's happening in the attached home market segment. Townhomes, 0 sales. Condos, 0 sales. And this isn't just an ELKFORD specific pattern. It mirrors much of the Kootenay region. Across the region, townhomes are now taking 93 days to sell, on average. This is a big increase of 76.5% year over year. And condo sales have dropped nearly 27.3% year over year. Attached homes almost always act as the early indicator of market momentum. When affordability tightens, buyers step back from the entry-level products first. So while detached homes in ELKFORD are still rising in price, the silence in the attached market signals the beginning of a shift in buyer behavior. This isn't a downturn, this isn't a correction, this is simply a normalization and a return to cooling of urgency. Now, one of the biggest forces shaping what's coming in the next 18 to 24 months in ELKFORD will be the mortgage renewals. This is happening all across Canada too. Although the Bank of Canada has started easing the rates, reductions so far still have been modest. Many ELKFORD homeowners locked into historically low mortgage rates back in 2020 and 2021, so even with small cuts, the renewal payments could rise. Nationwide, nearly 75% of all mortgages will renew before the end of 2026. So what does this mean for ELKFORD? Some families may have to reassess whether to move. Some will tighten their budgets and delay buying. A few may choose to list and sell if higher payments strain monthly finances. Now, because ELKFORD is a smaller market, even a slight shift in listing volume or buyer motivation can meaningfully influence overall balance. Again, this doesn't mean distress. It simply means more variation in seller motivation, which creates opportunities for buyers and requires strategy for sellers. So, if you're a buyer, ELKFORD is one of the most interesting markets in the Kootenays right now because detached homes remain stable, yet the attached market is quiet. That combination gives buyers more space to make thoughtful, strategic decisions. And here's your action plan. You need to talk to your bank, need to talk to your mortgage broker, secure your financing, get your rate lock in. They'll give it to you for 3 months, they'll give it to you for 6, all depends who you're talking to and what you're talking about. Even small rate changes can significantly impact affordability in a market where prices hover around the low to mid 400s. Now, you want to target when you're going out to look and you want to buy and you want to be a little more aggressive, have a look at the market, at the properties that have been on the market for a long time. Across the region, townhomes, 93 days on average. Condos, 97 on average. So while ELKFORD has no attached sales this month, that same buyer sentiment applies here. Sellers might just be a little more flexible than they were, say, a year ago. Now, and you can also, with fewer sales and more cautious buyers, negotiation room opens up, not just on price, but on conditions and subjects, repairs, completion dates, inclusions, upgrades. You know, you pay attention to what you're buying. You have a little more negotiating power than you had, say, a couple years ago. Add context with benchmark trends. ELKFORD is still appreciating, detached homes at 4.2%, and apartments stable at 125,000. ELKFORD is a pretty interesting place to invest or buy. Buying during a window of lower competition in a market with rising long-term values can often produce the strongest returns over time. Now, I'm a seller. What should a seller do? Well, sellers, hello. This is a moment to be strategic and proactive. ELKFORD's detached market is performing well, but buyers are becoming more cautious, and that means preparation and pricing matter now more than ever. So you want to price with precision. ELKFORD buyers are value sensitive. Overpricing, even by a small margin, can push your listing into an extended long time on the market, days on market. And buyers interpret that sometimes as a weakness. Now, you need to understand your product. Detached homes are steady and appreciating. Townhomes, condos require careful positioning due to lower turnover, and rural or specialty properties may take longer to find the right buyer. Prepare your home like it's competing for every showing. In a market with low monthly sales, every buyer matters. It's almost every buyer matters. Clean presentation and strong listing quality make a measurable difference. Time your listing strategically. Late winter, early spring often bring renewed demand, especially from buyers entering into the Kootenays looking for affordability compared to FERNIE or CRANBROOK. Sellers who align pricing, condition, and timing will continue to perform very well. So, what's the bottom line, Belzy? Well, so is a big change coming to the ELKFORD real estate market? Yeah, it is, but it's not in a dramatic way. We are seeing a subtle early stage shift. Detached homes remain strong and stable. Attached home activity is quiet, mirroring regional cooling. Buyers are becoming cautious, and mortgage renewals will shape the next phase of momentum. This isn't a downturn, it's a normalization, a move towards balanced decision-making after several years of intense market pressures. For buyers, this means more negotiating room, For sellers, it means sharper strategy and attention to detail. And for ELKFORD overall, it means the market is positioning itself for steadier, more predictable conditions.